And it's Nigel Owens in charge.
Okay, good to go on you.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Benetton Rugby have forced people to sit up and take notice this season, and Munster can ill afford to take them lightly.
Sure, they're behind you, okay?
Today's quarter-final match for them, something of a free hit, an opportunity to lower the colours of a European superpower in their own rugby citadel of Thomond Park in Limerick. All the pressure, it would appear, is on Munster, on the shoulders of the likes of Conor Murray and this man Tyler Blendall, on the first of the season's Guinness PRO14 quarter-final playoffs is underway.
Get up, Josh! Take him back, boys. Let him pass.
Time for both sides to try and settle any early nerves, particularly perhaps away from home at Thomond Park for Benetton. Returned downfield with huge interest from Andrew Conway into the arms of Jaden Hayward. We have talked all season about the potency of Monty Ioane, Jaden Hayward and Rutuva Tavayara. And great to see Tavayara back for today's encounter, having recovered from injury, back on the big stage. Scannell into contact. And Murray guiding his forwards up to that Munster 10-metre line now. Healy with options outside. That's really good from Sweetenham. Did the pass drift forward? It was flat enough and really well gathered by Sweetenham. Spun it back inside. Enterprising start this from Munster. Tadhg He was exceptional again last week against Connacht. Here's the first penalty. Well, the first penalty advantage for Tyler Blendall now. Gets it away to Scannell.
No advantage. 9. Quicker, please. Slow the quick ball
Fastly down. Into their rhythm and into their straps, Munster, as we thought they might be. Alongside me in the commentary box for this quarter-final playoff, Liam Toland and Donncha O'Callaghan. Afternoon, chaps. Liam, your thoughts on the opening exchanges?
What a super start for Munster. Chris Farrell up the middle and tapping the ball back. Munster 2 in the backfield, and they just were happy holding possession. It's a cracking day for a match. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Munster march on. But this Benetton style, the Italian style they brought all season, is a wonder to watch. Keep an eye out for number 8, Halafahi, and Monty Ioane out on the wing as well. Some quality players on both sides.
And Donncha, a really good early platform here.
Yeah, like both teams nearly switched game plans. Benetton playing a big kicking game, and Munster offloading in contact. Let's see if Munster go back to a more traditional route here with a big maul.
So Scannell gets the call, taken by the captain O'Mahony. And somebody got a hand on O'Mahony as he looked to deliver that pass away, and it's a little bit loose for Munster, but here they come now. Prime position from which to try and seize the advantage here, and who better to try and punch a hole in that rear guard than Jean Klein. Out they go to Farrell. Likewise, they'll use his ballast and aggression and ball in hand, and that's a super hit. Knocked out of the hands of Tadhg.
Advantage over.
And they've kicked away the advantage here, and Darren Sweetenham in reverse pretty quickly to get himself in a good field position to take that now. Can he return with interest, running hard and straight at Marco Zanon? That was good from the Munster winger. Blendall. Tavayara got his hand on it, kept it away from Andrew Conway, and it's now with Federico Russa, the try-scoring second row. 4 times he's dotted down this season, in a couple of very high-profile games too, notably against Leinster at the RDS, when Benetton got that high-scoring draw.
Stay! Okay, on now. Play on,
off
the shoulder.
Farrell.
Advantage, Green. Let it go. Not gone red in the air.
Well, Conor, there's a slight breeze that Munster are playing into. Maybe that's influencing Donncha, the style of what they're coming to play here. That kick didn't quite get the same purchase, but it was completable. But it's definitely influencing the style of Munster's approach.
Absolutely, and I think you're dead right. I think they're looking to probably play kind of territory type rugby. We've seen an awful lot of kicking in the opening kind of 4 minutes. So it is sunny, it's a beautiful day, but we're playing knockout rugby, and I think both teams are playing. Even Benetton, who've been incredible this season throwing the ball around, they know the importance of this game and want to play it in the right areas.
Speaking of the right areas, Chris Farrell had a few words during the week He's been very active in the opening 4 or 5 minutes, stealing that kick-off ball, but he's got his hands on the ball twice in open play as well. Great to see a player of his quality getting early purchase.
And the thing is, you want him barking at Tyler Blendell for more ball. Munster's first attack there, a kind of poor kick through by Blendell. Sometimes the 10 needs help and support.
It's been a potential area of weakness for Benetton this season. The scrum, just 90% success rate as compared with Munster's 96. Could be an interesting flashpoint.
Jumped into him, play on.
Healy took it well on the bounce. And here is that man, Chris Farrell, who was limiting the amount of opportunities really and options that Munster have in terms of their attack play. It's been much talked about this season. Taken in by Klein again. Blendell pops one over the top, taken by Dufanaka. Now are there options here for Hayward? He runs into a little bit of traffic. Default Dufanaka again, starting at number 9 ahead of Tito Tibaldi, as he has done for the lion's share of the season. He's been exceptional, the South African scrum half. Really good game against Leinster at the RDS a few weeks ago, when they looked dead and buried until Tavayara popped up with that exceptional try on 81 minutes. Big contest here at the breakdown. How's it going to go for Nigel Owens? Well,
50-50, forward and playable. Scrum green ball.
We've got some big men in Munster colours over that ball, notably CJ Stander and Chris Klute.
There's a lot of good quality play from, and as Donncha mentioned, the interest in offloading. Just by way of statistics, the visiting side had 216 offloads thus far this season, which is miles ahead of any other side in the competition. But they spotted an early defensive position where Conor Murray is picking up in the defensive line. So the scrum half, Duvanaka, on a midfield breakdown, just chipped the ball over the top, knowing that Conor Murray is in the defensive position, which is a position he takes up both for Munster and for Ireland. Good play from Benetton, good play from the video nerds, if you like, from Italy.
Yeah. In contrast with Munster, Tyler Blendell, he had another kind of kick. We've had 2 in the opening kind of 6 minutes here that just seemed to be, to nothing really. And when it's really hard to get quality ball like that, you just want to see a little bit more. And, we've heard Chris Farrell's remarks. Now we want to see him talk up and get more ball.
Keep it up. Good.
Dufanaka. Tavayara at first receiver, running hard at the aforementioned Tyler Blendell's line. Well, that's been turned over by Chris Klute. We've seen it so many times from him this season. That's number 18 this campaign. Munster ball pinched by the South African poacher. So good in that jackal position. So too is the man over the ball there, Tadhg Byrne. 16 to his tally in terms of turnovers this season. Not to mention 9 line-out steals. All the stats there for Tadhg Byrne to once again prove how good he's been.
It's a definite blindside strategy that Munster play. They get the turnover from Klute, which you spotted. Brilliant turnover. We expect that, of course, from him and Tadhg Byrne. But what Munster doing with that turnover, they're still playing into the wind, and they're deciding in most cases to keep going back down the blind side.
Just Klute here. I don't think, he makes that look so easy. It's such a hard skill. I know he's low centre of gravity to get over that ball, but that type of poaching is just so hard to do. And the thing about it is, Tony, you'd know it, people identify him as a jackal threat, so they hit him on the way, and he still manages to make turnovers like that. A really impressive start.
Okay, time out.
Having covered Munster so much this season, it's a really interesting subplot looking at the open side. They have a number of injured ones at the moment. Klute is so different from the other potential starters, and that is what he does. The others do it as well, but they've other strings to their bow too. So it's a really interesting selection headache for the manager.
Absolutely, and when he gets his opportunity to go out, he's got to bring his point of difference, which he's already done today.
Keep the pressure, okay? Crouch. Time on. Bind! Set! Hold it there!
Benetton have a 4-up defensive line, left winger right up and top, so expecting to pressure any backline move. 2 in the backfield.
Just get it steady.
More space.
Come on. Yes, I know, but come out of it then. Come out here. Yeah, that's fine then. That's fine.
So you can see there the Benetton
you're
4
binding the
flat
second
up,
row, okay?
ready to pounce at any potential backline.
you're
Probably
binding on the
targeting
second
Chris
row,
Farrell,
okay?
in fairness to them.
Binding
But it gives a kind of a tactical
Steady, get it in,
quandary
okay?
for the Munster out
I wanna
half.
s- don't see
Do
any
I
pull
try
in.
and get outside that?
Keep
Do I
the
chip
bind up.
over it? Because there's only 2 in the backfield, but we're playing into the wind. So
Keep the
clever
space off
play
that
and
end,
clever
please.
defensive decision from Benetton.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there. Keep it up.
So in it goes
Stay
from
nice,
Conor
stay.
Murray. Both sets of front rowers had their say to Nigel Owens on the previous one, but just the reset. There's another big hit in midfield. Really good hit from Monty Iwani.
Okay, 2 is on.
Chase is coming hard from Scannell and from O'Mahony. And that's a decent clearance outside the 22.
That is a fantastic kick by Rory Scannell. Going against the shape of the play, just decides to put the ball
let's
down
put you
there,
steady as well,
known as
okay?
well
So-
that
But I'll have a word.
not a great kicking option in the back three for Benetton. So super smart by Rory Scannell.
Especially because when Munster did go out wide,
Go back.
Leoni just smashed the outside attack. Great result for Munster.
Stay.
Another clean take from that man, Peter O'Mahony. And the ball is
Stay there.
in the grasp of Niall Scannell. Still making progress. Federico Rucci's got himself out of that position. Luca Bigi's in there now. Conor Murray can play it. Scannell, Blayendal. Can they manufacture something here now over the top to Andrew Conway? Looking to stand up his man. Healy is in there. Here it comes for Murray. CJ Stander is available. 10 minutes into the game, Munster are seeking out the first try of this quarter-final playoff. And they've ripped it clear. Penalty. You can hear the cry of tackler release from Nigel Owens.
Yeah, Nigel giving him every
Are you cool?
opportunity there, telling him
was
that
very close to good play,
the
but his
tackle
knees
has
were
been
just on the
completed.
ground.
Obviously, the lad think that they've turned it over,
Wait.
but just need to listen to Nigel Owens there, one of the best refs who'll actually help you as a player, and inform you with good decisions. And crazy to give away
When I speak
such
to
a
them and stuff,
big
okay?
position
Back, please.
high up in the pitch.
Just a missed timing, unlucky, but knees just on the ground. It's penalty only.
Munster thought about taking the quick tap penalty. They were called back, and the decision is for a shot at goal here from Tyler Blayendal.
But that all came, Donncha, from a cracking line-up maul that just drove and drove. And Conor Murray was at the tail, hands-on. Sweetenham had gone off his left wing into midfield, and just as the maul switched around into the blind side, it was an opportunity to hit him. He couldn't do it. But the ultimate back play with Tyler Blayendal doing a Johnny Sexton on it gave Munster a 3v2 attack for Benetton to defend. Not converting those is probably the small, minor criticisms of their style as it evolves.
Yeah, and they're the moments, aren't they? They don't come around a lot. You have to take the opportunities when they arrive. Connor's busy though. At the back of those mauls, he's looking for players to run down the short side as well. So, but doing the right thing here, taking the points when they're on offer. Full respect for Benetton and for the latter stages of the competition.
Wait a minute. The penalty is in here, not out here, please.
Ah, well
It's on the
spotted.
5-metre line here, yeah?
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
Yeah, because I've moved you, I will give you the option if you still want to go for the post or not, okay? Time out.
Okay, well, this is interesting.
See what it is.
It wasn't easy from position one. It's considerably
Timor's
distant,
checked.
even just 5 metres further to the right-hand side.
Yeah, now wait a minute.
The line-up maul,
Timor's
Donncha,
checked. The
has
penalty
improved
is here, so I will give you the option to change your mind if you want.
source of
Okay.
tries for them.
Absolutely, and especially in games like this, Liam, you want to take the legs out of the opposition.
because they've gone in too
Benetton,
far, they thought the
incredible
penalty was
attacking
there, so they
shape,
have the
but
choice.
you want to make them
Yes, it is
hurt and really
quite
punish them. And
because
this
I
is the
give them
moment
the
you
wrong
were chatting
marks. They
about
have a choice
earlier
to
on.
change your mind
Yeah,
if
it
we
was
for the
more of a
corner.
3-on-3 in many senses, but those opportunities don't come around, and
Switch on,
the
boys,
top
with the marks,
class
it's easier.
sides have an ability to convert
Yeah, okay.
Brilliant there by Nigel Owens, really holding his team to account, telling them to switch on and up their performance, because
Awareness, boys.
that was a
Before the game,
refereeing
okay? Switch on.
mistake, but at least he has the courage to stand over it.
Stay there.
Well, the Benetton rearguard need to switch on here. We're looking at two of the three best lineouts in the competition, by the way.
Keep it up, keep it up.
That was another really, really good clean take. Great delivery from Scannell now. Two options to the right. And many more to the left-hand side. Scannell and Farrell are poised. Benetton sensing an opportunity here, and once again they've turned over the ball.
I think Conor Murray might have an issue with the Benetton number 8, Halafihi, who got himself into a very favourable position to effect an immediate bear hug when Murray, the scrum half, gets it.
Absolutely. It's a thing we're seeing more and more with mauling nowadays. Before, a player like that was sent back to retreat and come back in, but now you get rewarded for doing exactly what he's doing. And look, you see it constantly in the Pro for your team. You see it in the top leagues in France, and all stemming from the Premiership in England. For me personally, I don't like it at all. I don't think there's any reward in it. Munster set up a good maul here, and before you used to get penalised for nearly swimming up the side. Now you get rewarded for just staying up there.
Keep the pressure off.
Exceptional take once again from Jean Klein, right at the apex of his reach there.
Low by 3. Bind. Set. Hold it there. Keep it up.
Very interesting opening 13 minutes here. Great shove on from the Munster pack of forwards at scrum time.
Well, that scrum looked decidedly uncomfortable for the Italians. That said, that's an incredible exit strategy from a position where they were very vulnerable, particularly to a Munster line-up maul. Really good defence from Benetton and a good exit.
Romani just looking at Nigel Owens, felt he might have been impeded in the air, but he managed to gather the ball nonetheless.
You can see Stein there, the number 7 again. He's doing exactly what you're talking about, Donegan.
Kluta's under pressure there from Rizzioni, the tight head prop, who equally adept at turnovers this season. Here it is for Murray. They're up quickly again. Benetton now, is there something out the back here potentially? Healy has got Sweetenham outside. Sweetenham cuts back in. Dancing feet, still going forward. A yard shy of the line. Conor Murray, quick ball required potentially here for Farrell on the reach. And all Munster will get is it put into the scrummage. It looked as though Sweetenham had the score when he stepped inside.
Yeah, looking forward to watching it back. It's a small thing, but the delivery of the pass is so critical, especially at those moments. Here we're looking at Clute. Does a great job getting legs through contact.
But this is your 3v3 again, much more clinical for Munster.
You okay?
Darren Sweetenham with an awful lot to do there, even deciding to take on Mike Haley as well by stepping back inside.
But that 3v3 there ultimately gave Munster a 2v1, which gave Sweetenham an opportunity. Good defence from Benetton for chasing and sliding across, but it did give a moment of opportunity for Sweetenham. So that's a far better version of it than from the earlier in the match.
But if you want to hit
Farrell was close through. Credit the Benetton defence in that situation. They got two men to him very, very quickly indeed.
I'll give you exactly the same choice, okay? It's only
yeah, you're right, Conor. The scramble defence by Benetton there. And I suppose that's, everyone's talked about their attack, but that's a culture thing. That's the kind of wanting to look after your teammate and finding a way to stop and forcing Darren Sweetenham back in where you've other defenders.
And you mentioned before the game, Donegan, the importance of leaders. Like, Munster have really sat on the 22 and have knocked a couple of times, and each time Benetton have managed to eke their way out. So the longer goes without a score, the more a little bit of self-doubt might creep in.
Absolutely, and this is the improvement in Benetton. Before, you stayed in these areas and they gave away cheap penalties. They don't do that anymore. So, they make you earn every point.
Bind. Set. Hold it there. Keep it up, lads.
Well, very interesting to see if Munster can have the upper hand here. They've got a big shove on again, controlled at the base by
just a
CJ Stander.
A good contest by both teams. Re-scrummage, same ball.
When you're defending a scrum at that, Donegan, as either a tight or loose hit second row, look at the number 8 for Benetton. He's completely detached. You want
Same
him
ball.
scrummaging on you, don't you?
Absolutely, and that's the reason. You know, Stephen Archer has done a great job here, but you've identified it, Tony. The back row aren't helping there at all. Really impressed with Stephen Archer's start, not only in set piece but around the breakdown, clearing well past the ball. Every time he goes to a ruck, he gets what is statted as a kill, so he puts the opposition on the ground. And you know, with John Ryan on the bench, there's really competition, but he's had a super start.
The Stander in the slot between 6 and 8.
Bind.
Sweetenham loitering with intent just behind.
And away goes CJ Stander.
Release
And he's still going now. He's brought the ground. Conor Murray pops it out. Tag burn. The referee's not going to give that.
It's easy for us sitting up here in the vantage point where we see CJ Stander initially sliding in between 6 and his second row, and then he completely detaches his hands. He doesn't bind at all. Look at his hands waiting for the ball so we can see what he's about to do. It's much more difficult to defend, but pretty good defence initially from Benetton. And again, a double hit. Klein was arguably doing nothing there. He didn't warrant it.
Stability looks okay to me.
Yeah, but we saw this last week as well against Connacht. Both of them are an option at the line, and then it's up to to Conor to pick the right guy. Last week it comes off. Unfortunately, this week the defence is too good.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
The longer this contest goes on and Benetton can absorb this kind of relentless pressure and not concede, the more it will do their confidence a power of good.
Let's go, Munster. Same again.
They kind of fell over the line last week against Zebra, but you forgive them the nerves, given what was at stake, the
shoulder out,
burden of history on their shoulders. First Italian side through to the knockout stages.
You must bind on him.
They did, of course, go through an unbelievable stretch in the season where they won 8 and drew 1 of 9 matches. There are very few sides in the Pro 14 can boast that kind of ratio.
On the second row, that's the law. Yes, fine. That's what I'm telling you. Don't come up in the prop.
Brilliant by Nigel Owens, just making your point, Tolly, and making sure the back row are honest and staying attached to every scrum. They're in trouble if the referee is to tell you how to bind at scrum time.
Well, we've seen some wonderful binding techniques from Peter O'Mahony there and from whoever's the number 8, both are indeed CJ Stander throughout the season.
In 9. Hold it there. And Hughes. Stay back.
2 front rows are down and they're under.
Just on this side, Nigel, you've got a poor bind from red and the feet too far back from green. He's just throwing himself forward, okay?
So Rizzione, maybe Nigel Owens will decide as he has to come across. I think Benetton are more vulnerable now than when Munster had the ball in the attacking position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the moment you have to make them exit, don't you? You just have to keep on it and put as much pressure as possible in. I'll be honest, it's been a great battle at scrum time.
Bind. Set.
Nigel Owens now keeping a close eye on Dave Kilcoyne and Marco Rizzione. And they're under pressure. Away comes that man, Toa Halafihi. Huge ball carrying ability for Benetton out of that back row. Dufan Anaga pops one over the top, looking for Tavayara. That's gone forward off a Benetton hand.
Not coming, lads. No advantage.
And I'd even go as far to say that this is probably a better attacking platform opportunity for Munster because it forces Benetton to make a decision about their back 3. Where are they going to place them? Are they going to be brave and put their front 4 up?
It's a good pitch on my side.
Marks on me, mate. Marks on me. Marks on me.
Just saw a little snippet of Tabiara there. He's just so dangerous. I think if this game opens up a bit and there's we've seen it all season, but just today as well with the conditions, with how the pitch is underfoot, you just know he'll thrive in a game that really opens up.
4 tries this season, 22 clean line breaks and 48 defenders beaten for Ratuvic Aviara.
Needs to come in, yeah.
He is an ever-potent threat.
Don't delay too much.
Just off camera you can see there you have it, Blindell standing with his colleague Sweetenham on the blind side. He's the key man. Will he stay here or will he go across? And that's a big decision for the defence to keep an eye out for scrum half and out half for Munster.
Good, keep it there, lads.
Scannell now hitting up Farrell. Blendell again, it's boot to ball and into the 22 of Benetton.
Go back.
Blendell there to make the tackle on Jaden Hayward.
Release
Clute this time getting to grips with Sebastian Negri. What a season he's had, the back rower for
Stay
Benetton.
green.
Conway. Here is that man, Stephen Archer. Murray now to Sweetenham and away to Chris Farrell.
Lost.
Tagburn this time. Blendell couldn't quite get there. CJ Stander mops up and looks to do a little better than that, despite the attentions of Bram staying the open side. Archer again. He's tackled by Negri. A tremendous amount of physicality in the opening 20 minutes here. Quarter of the game has gone by, and as yet, no score on the boards. Stander sizing up Luca Morisi, the inside centre for Benetton. Murray again. That's a good carry from Niall Scannell. Scannell. Farrell, can he just elude 1 or 2 tackles, just make that elusive break? Marco Zanon stuck to his task. And there's another penalty coming here. Shot to nothing for Sweetenham. He's made a little bit of progress now. Is there something more here for Munster potentially? Clute has it.
Hands away.
Murray goes a little bit deeper this time. Farrell, who's seen plenty of ball, and again he makes 2 or 3 yards through the tackle, through the contact drop goal attempt from Rory Scannell. Long advantage from Nigel Owens. Back we go for the previous penalty.
On the first dash after the 15.
Keep coming to me, yeah. 5 metres out from the 15.
On the 10, on the 10.
Towards me a bit more, and another 5 metres, Nige. To me. Back, back, back. That's it.
Yeah, they're the kind of penalties that you maybe expect from Benetton normally.
Just off this scrum, Blindell started on the blind side and has switched across. You see him coming very, very late on a little loop ball. A lovely play to put indecision. But the question mark is, did he need to kick that ball and in a really good attacking place to thread that ball through hand-back possession to Benetton and allow them to exit? Really good set-up play, but ultimately, why did he kick that ball?
Yeah, not for me. What you want to do in attack is retain possession and go through multi-phase, phases. Really tire out the opposition, really ask questions on all attack phases, and I just feel Tyler Blendell is probably leaving Benetton off with an awful lot of his kicking.
You can walk the boys after the kick if it goes over, okay? Yeah, I'll get some if it goes over now. Thanks.
Well, they've had to work incredibly hard for their first tilted points of the afternoon, but with 23 minutes on the watch at Thomond Park in Limerick, the right boot of Tyler Blendell has kicked Munster in front in this quarter-final playoff. Struck it absolutely beautifully.
I think that's a pretty good result in many ways for Munster, but equally for Benetton. They'll be saying, look, 3 points is not so bad. We could have conceded a couple of tries in the last 10 minutes.
Okay, so Benetton get us underway, having conceded those 3 points. Let's nip across very quickly to Jerry Flannery, who's standing by to talk to us. Jerry, your thoughts on the opening 23 minutes?
Advantage over.
I think we're playing well. We're controlling a lot of the territory and a lot of possession. I think we were probably a little bit indecisive in around between the 2 10s. We weren't asking questions enough of Treviso in terms of we weren't turning them with our kicks. We were kind of in between with our kicking game, and when we were running at them, we weren't really asking hard enough questions. But I think we firmed that up. Our breakdown has been really, really good, and I think we're getting a good edge in the set piece at the moment as well. So we're pretty happy. You know, obviously, with the amount of times that we've been inside their 22, we'd like to have converted more.
Just before the tackle
at this stage, Treviso we're in the playoffs. They're a good side, so they're not going to roll over. That's why they've come to Ireland against Ulster and against Leinster, and they've gotten draws.
Jerry, as always, thanks a million for your time.
Cheers.
I'll let you back at it. Thank you. So, an immediate riposte potentially here for Benetton, who've come into Munster territory and won themselves a penalty.
Time out then. Okay.
Just as that's, I'm just looking at the stats, it looks like Munster have about 80% of territory and 68% of possession, which is phenomenal and will pay dividends in the last quarter of the game, we know that. But 121 kicks with all that possession to Treviso's 38. Yards run to Treviso's 38. It's about getting those rewards. We know there will be a fatigue reward at the end, but you need those rewards as you're building up. And to concede a penalty like this, which could bring the game back to 3-3, it's a huge blow to the home side.
This is a big moment in the game for Tommaso Allen. His kicking percentage, by his own admission, has been a little wayward this season. 68%, 34 of 60 attempts. He needs to be on the money today if his side are to have any chance of causing a massive upset. And he struck that full of conviction, and it is an immediate reply for Benetton. The scoreboard level on 25 minutes at 3 points apiece.
And Liam, to your point, Benetton will grow from that fact. They've had 20% possession, and it's all square after 25 minutes. So, you know, their defence looks really strong, and they haven't even fired a punch in attack yet.
And there's plenty to ponder for Johan van Graan and his backroom staff on the opening 25 minutes here, which have been very, very, well, tense and tight. Huge credit must go to Benetton on the way they've acquitted themselves here in the face of a Munster onslaught. Scoreboard reading 3 points apiece, and Monty Awani, the elusive left winger, he's been exceptional this season. No surprise to see him nominated for Player of the Season. Loose ball, it's gone back off a Munster hand, and here is Mike Healy. Conway now. Murray. Klein. Murray again, he spotted half a gap, and that door was closed pretty quickly by Luca Bigi. Scannell waits, and Healy. On it goes to Tadhg Byrne. In comes the tackle from Nicola Quaglio. Ball is a little bit loose, and Federico Russo was quick there. Pluto also. Scannell not.
No, fine. On the back of the shoulder, play on.
Murray to Blendell, cuts back inside. Couldn't quite get the offload away. Quicker service this time from Murray to Scannell. Comes back against the green. Runs into Marco Lazzaroni. Blendell again, but again he's mopped up there by Abraham Steen.
It's a tackle now,
Halafihi's there too, and he's on the wrong side as arm almost raised by Nigel Owens. He decided against giving it in the end. Tadhg Byrne takes it on for Munster. They've got to get points for this kind of pressure. At the moment they're being held at arm's length by some
play on.
Good work in the contact area. Now can CJ Stander get a little bit of go forward ball? Murray.
That's Kilcoyne's first big ball carrier. Munster need more of that.
And a good tackle equally by Quaglio, who's been impressive in the opening 27 minutes. But it's the only two. Tackle count is huge from Benetton. Murray, over the top it goes to Sweetenham. No, that's good from Sweetenham. Klute, he was well tackled.
It's a forward pass. It's a forward pass, not a knock-on introduction player. Scrum, green ball. Timeout.
They're having to work exceptionally hard to try and find any little chinks in the armour here of Benetton, aren't they?
Just trying to figure out the Munster style.
Okay.
ball in hand. What are they trying to achieve in the opening 5-10 minutes? Because the wind, they were playing blindside rugby, which is understandable, and now they're going across. It's becoming a little bit individual, and they're losing the structure a little bit away, which I think is helping Benetton's defence.
Absolutely, I think it's the key point for the game so far. There's just too many times from a back's point of view. You've different people playing first pair of hands. You've either Rory Scannell, Mike Haley, or Tyler Blendell, or else it's the forwards. And you know, I know an awful lot of the time, and the talk around Munster at the moment has been on the attack and maybe the attack coach. That's player responsibility. Players stepping up and saying, I'm bossing this between Conor and Tyler, or even Rory when he steps in there, and just to have a more consistent attack shape. Just think at the moment it's very sporadic. It's down to what Rory thinks is on at that moment, as opposed to what's right for the team.
Well, as one small example, we mentioned Chris Farrell a couple of times. Wouldn't it be great off a set piece or in general play that the ball arrives to him with an opportunity to create indecision from Benetton? The two Benetton players, recognising his size, would say, wow, we got to stop this guy. If they double team him, someone gets the reward. And they're just not creating those opportunities for themselves.
Absolutely, and I think it's up to the players. Don't be looking to coach and boxes or anyone else here. You've brilliant players around you. Take advantage of it.
Bind. Set. Hold it there. Keep it there, lads. Stay corner.
So Duvanaka feeds the Benetton scrummage.
Reset.
That's the voice of Ben Whitehouse. You can hear advising Nigel Owens from this side, his vantage point, to reset that scrummage.
Well, one of the directions in the last couple of weeks, Conor, is that a scrum that is kind of breaking up, as that one was, they're giving the instruction to the referees, don't allow the ball to be played from a collapsed scrum. Reset it, and that's why Whitehouse came in so quickly, I'm pretty sure.
Come in this side now. Scores.
But it's great, don't you see so many scrums, isn't it?
Cooking this up now, lads. There's a lot of time going for
bread and
scrums
butter
in this
stuff.
game.
Keep them all a big giant ball and a few scrums.
But the energy levels, you know, in the modern day, because the skill sets are so high, the scrums are coming down into single figures in some matches. You need to fatigue the front five, don't you? And this really saps energy.
Absolutely. Your whole front five coming away from this should feel like they've wellies on, you know.
Set! Hold it there.
Done correctly.
Stay 9.
Okay, that's an interesting flashpoint there between Kilcoyne and Riccioni. It's gone the Benetton way.
Driving straight. Loose head out and across. Greener driving straight. Loose head out and across.
You could see the emotional energy that Benetton have just gained tonight. We were talking about the giggling somewhat tongue-in-cheek about the scrum, but the value of a dominant scrum to the psychology of a team, particularly a visiting team, is massive. And when Owen's arm went up, the reaction from Benetton was huge.
Yeah, they've been celebrating all the small wins in attack and defence, and they just look like such a tight team. They look, you know, like brothers out there, and that's why they've been so successful this season.
Well, that's what it means to them. Yeah, we've heard Kieran Crowley talk all season about the culture at Benetton Rugby these days and that community feel. They're working and fighting and playing for each other, and that's why they're through to the knockout phase. It's paid dividends this season, and maybe they're not done yet. Luca Marisi, good carry from the inside centre. Turnover here coming Munster's way.
Looks like
Stander goes in there.
Now, Green, stay back. Hughes.
And Klutze. Klein now. Up against Riccioni. Really good contest now. Game beginning to settle down a little bit, but there's very, very little in it, as the scoreline suggests, despite the dominance in terms of possession and territory that Munster have enjoyed.
I said use it. Back. Got 5 seconds when I say use it.
On goes Klutze. That's good from Munster's open side.
Hughes.
Murray waits and hoists the box kick. And the kick chase is a good one from Andrew Conway.
Green.
Couldn't get himself into the air. Was he impeded?
What? Taking out the ball, Carrier, taking him out.
Foul play.
Yes, foul play.
Yeah, we're going to have to go back here because Andrew Conway was impeded as he tried to get airborne.
Green have stepped into 14 red, stopping him getting to the ball carrier.
Okay, give me the flag and give me the foul play there, because green, I didn't know what...
It's Dan Jones over on that far side, the referee's assistant.
He's referring to Conor Murray's quality box
red.
kick.
He's taking him out, 5 metres back behind you.
Is there a harder working, more dynamic winger in World Rugby than Andrew Conway? He hunts for every possible opportunity.
14 red.
I think it was 9 green.
Yeah.
Time out. Tufanaka potentially here. Excellent box kick, wasn't it?
Hang on, boys. No, from the kick and chase there.
Yeah, he did give a picture. He did lift his left arm and engage. Whether he had an impact on Conway is another debate.
Wait, I put the
and this is something we're starting to see in the kick chase from now on. Instead of teams actually escorting on the way back, they're actually just trying to put a wall of people in front, so you can't actually get guys like Andrew Conway can't even contest the ball anymore. And like when you have someone as dangerous as him looking to get under balls, it's probably not a bad thing, but it's great to see that it's been picked up by the assistant refs and the refs.
Yeah, it's a good spot from Dan Jones over on that far side, and now position A for Munster. It's going to be O'Mahony again, but that's gone right over the top of everyone, but it's in the grasp of Blendall. Can they reconfigure?
Release.
Klein. It's just so little space for the Munster ball carriers. Great defensive shift so far. How long can they hold out, though, is the question. At full reach, I think that was Jean Klein. Back inside from Klute to Blendall. Got away with that one. Had to improvise, really. Such was the defensive line speed from Benetton. Stander now. Supported by Klein.
He's gone.
Not a lot that Bramstein could do about that. Conor Murray did well. Chris Farrell made a few yards. Murray once again recycled a little bit quicker on that occasion. Klein cutting back against the grain. Stander. Luca Bigi with the tackle. Here's Scannell. 3 to his right hand side. Came back inside again. Tagburn always available, always looking to steal a yard or two.
Well, they went back.
Here they go again with Stander. Relentless pressure, but relentless defending, and that's a huge moment again from Benetton.
I was just counting as the faces were building up. The advantage of Munster there was the recycle was so quick. But on 5 separate occasions, the first receiver carried himself. Chris Farrell did it a couple of times. CJ Stander did it. Klein did it. Again, is there more in the attacking formation of Munster than a one-out receiver carrying the ball first up, as we saw CJ Stander doing there? Great defence, though.
And you don't want to labour the point of it, but what that needs is a boss, someone stepping in, a first receiver, and saying, "This is how I'm running it," you know. Brilliant by Conway to try to keep that in play, but just all the pressure, you know. One, you know, not his best carry by CJ as he'd say himself. Incredible to make the turnover by Benetton, but it cost you nearly 40-50 metres down the pitch.
He's been excellent at that this season, Marco Rizzioni. His 10th turnover, he's very good over the ball, and full credit to Default Tufanaka, who just put the brakes on CJ Stander despite conceding all the kgs that he was. So Luca Bigi. We haven't seen Benetton down in this part of the field for quite some time.
And in 36 minutes, that's their second line-out, which gives an indicator of Munster's keeping the ball on the pitch and the lack of penalties being conceded to give them the opportunity.
The line-out's been reasonably good this season, up around the 90% mark from Luca Bigi principally. Montiawani again, he's still going, he's wriggled his way through 2 or 3 challenges there. Taken on by Bramstein. Russo waits. The latch on from Lazzaroni.
I'm a little surprised how Benetton are playing into Munster's strengths in many ways. They're playing a trench warfare game, which is quite unusual. You hinted it earlier on, Donncha, but it's quite a flip in their style.
Well, at the moment, fire with fire is the call from Benetton, and so far it's working.
You're holding
I'm sure if you ask Kieran Crowley 5 minutes to half time, 3 points apiece, he would have taken it. We haven't seen Benetton really fire a shot, as Donncha said. Tommaso Allen's ball out to Marco Zanon and Munster were in very quickly. Scannell and Kilcoyne working hard in defence. We've seen what Munster have managed to do on attack. Now it's their turn to defend. And really, they haven't capitalised. That will be the chat at half-time, surely, if it stays like this.
Lost now! Lost now!
It's Benetton ball with Dufanaka. The crowd didn't like the clear out on Chris Kluter there, and with good reason, it seemed, in real time anyway.
Lost red!
Scrappy now at the breakdown. Luca Bigi goes in to add his weight to it. Tommaso Allen, can they manufacture something? Well, Sweetnam's done exceptionally well there.
Okay.
And he's forced Hayward all the way back.
Stay green.
Kick return to Healy is a good one.
All on.
And through he goes. That's good from Dufanaka. Just managed to stop him in time. Sweetnam. Very congested and crowded over on this near side, just right in front of our vantage point from the commentary position. Taken on by Tadhg Byrne. Good tackle from Negri. Scannell. Murray again. Klein.
Release one!
We've only got 2 minutes of the opening half of this quarter-final playoff to play, and it remains a penalty apiece for each side, despite all the endeavours of Munster. They have not been able to crack open this Benetton rearguard. Potentially now, it tried to go over the top from Tadhg Byrne. Taviara was alive to the threat, and again it's a very, very good kick downfield. No way through again for Munster.
But again, that's 5 first-up carries from Munster every single time, 5 in a row. Whoever's receiving a first time out is carrying it into heavy traffic.
And you can sense the frustration growing around Thomond Park as this half wears on. And that's a super kick. That is absolutely brilliant from Tommaso Allen. Exactly what Benetton require with 38 plus minutes on the wash.
You can see the Thomond Park crowd applauding that themselves. Love moments like that. I think, Rory Scannell has been incredible both in attack and defence. Hasn't got... We're up.
Yeah, Munster go early from that line out. A chance to clear their lines here with Blendell, and he hammers it over into touch on that far side. Monty Iwani wants to go quickly, and he's allowed to, and off goes Jaden Hayward. Oh, and Hayward's through here, and he's got numbers to the left hand side. Tackle coming in from Clute, but he can't manage to stop Luca Bigi now. Here come Benetton. Recycle, and off they go to Bram Stein, the 30 times capped Italian back rower. And here they come again. Halafihi, and now Tommaso Allen a little bit deeper. Hayward, they've got a huge option. Tabayara! And he's in. Benetton celebrate. Nigel Owens may check it upstairs, but they've been defending for the lion's share of the half, and potentially with the last attack of the first half. Ratuva Tabayara has got the first try of the quarter-final playoff. We will look at it again, but what a moment that could be for the Italian visitors.
Knock on in the ruck by my touchline. I was looking at the fringe page, just have a look at that.
But you can see the lovely interplay from the Benetton midfield, creating slight indecisions for the Munster defensive line, who have their whitewash right behind them, so they have to be very, very careful. But it's the first passage of play from either side that's put sufficient question marks into the defenders to allow the slightest of spaces for a quality finish.
Try is good, Nige. Try is good.
The try is good.
I just want to check. So in the ruck by my touchline, they're talking about potential knock-on. Again, I didn't see it, but just worth having a check on the touchline right by me.
Do you want to check it, Dan, or not?
If you didn't see something, Dan, what are you think there is a knock-on or not?
I didn't see anything, but they're just asking, just to be aware of.
Who's asking?
Peter just asked here now.
Well, Munster, through the captain Peter O'Mahony, potentially has seen a knock-on, but
play on, okay.
Try is good anyway. The finish is good in the corner.
That's quite a put down from the referee to the assistant referee. Did you see it or did you not see it? Avoiding getting involved in conjecture and rumour, I think.
And the answer is no. So try stands, 8 points to 3. Conversion attempt to come. What a finish again from Tabayara. So dangerous, so strong. Nothing that Mike Haley, the covering fullback, could do.
full time after the kick. Okay, diolch. Half time. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, he's hit that absolutely beautifully. That is majestic from the right boot of Tommaso Allen, whose wonderful kick over on the far side launched the springboard attack from which they eventually scored. But at Thomond Park, well, they've spent all week writing off the chances of Benetton Rugby here at Thomond Park, and at half-time, having scored off one of only 2 or 3 attacks that they could muster, the half-time score reads Munster 3, Benetton Rugby 10. Well, they've had to work incredibly hard for their first tilted points of the afternoon, but with 23 minutes on the watch at Thomond Park in Limerick, the right boot of Tyler Blendell has kicked Munster in front in this quarter-final playoff, struck it absolutely beautifully. And here they come again. Halafihi and now Tommaso Allen a little bit deeper. Hayward, they've got huge option. Tabayara! And he's in. Benetton celebrate. Nigel Owens may check it upstairs, but they've been defending for the lion's share of the half, and potentially with the last attack of the first half. Ratuva Tabayara. Oh, he's hit that absolutely beautifully. That is majestic from the right boot of Tommaso Allen, whose wonderful kick. Welcome back. No surprise to see our Italian visitors Benetton first out of the sheds at half-time. They lead this contest by 10 points to 3 thanks to that exceptional finish from the Fijian finisher Ratuva Tabayara right on the stroke of half-time, and a wonderful conversion from the touchline from Tommaso Allen. What will be the response from Munster? Just 10,042 in attendance. That's half of what was here 7 days ago for an end-of-season dead rubber interprovincial match, albeit against Connacht, but it's an underwhelming crowd, and it's been a largely underwhelming performance from Munster so far, particularly given the fact that they've dominated the game in terms of territory and possession.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is 2 very competitive contact here with people going in hard. So yeah, I'll keep an eye. If they put themselves there deliberately, I'll deal with it.
It'd be really interesting to see, Conor, how Munster react to this. They're well familiar with coming back from behind. That's not an issue, and they're at home, which is not an issue. The wind is behind them, so it'll be interesting to see will Blendell step in, take control of the fixture, and most importantly, take control of field position in the opening 5 or so minutes.
And there's that man, Tommaso Allen, that gets us underway for the second 40 minutes here. A big 40 minutes, not just in terms of the season for Munster, but
advantage over from the
for so much besides. Remember, they haven't won a trophy since they won this competition in 2011, and exiting at a quarter-final stage to anyone is not acceptable, particularly not with the greatest respect to Benetton, to an Italian side who are through to this stage for the first time.
Okay, Hughes.
There will be no excuses acceptable, but Munster are up against it here.
Back off, Red.
It's gone back off a Munster player. It's with Conor Murray. Precious little pitch to work with over on that far side. No changes at half-time. So it's as you were. Can they be a little bit more dynamic with ball in hand in this half? CJ Stander, now Murray, Blendell. Again, boot to ball is the option when he's brought Munster play almost up to that 22.
Super kick, trying to realising territory's most important in this game, and just feeding that ball lovely through into the corner.
Looks like there's an early intervention injury-wise in the Benetton scrum half, I think it is.
Yes, Deval Tuvanaga's taken a blow to the face, so that's going to be
head.
That's a HIA, Nigel.
Yeah, he's going to go off for a head injury assessment.
HIA.
This guy isn't a household name, but Tuvanaka is a quality performer. And you know there's some serious Intibaldi experience on the bench to come on, but he would be a huge loss this early in the game.
Blood, Nigel, blood.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's blood, it's not a HIA, so that changes it.
Here he comes.
Yeah, Duvenagi was exceptional in the game at the RDS, and when Tibaldi came on for the last 15 or 20 minutes, and they missed Duvenagi.
Well, for a guy who's got a blood injury, he was very, very physically ginger getting down on that chair. It looks like more than just a simple blood injury.
Physically ginger.
Okay, time
A
on.
slap on the nose, there's nothing worse.
Luca Bigi taking his time. Turnover ball from the line-out. Omani read the situation and got him up in the air early toward the front of that line, as they always do, and this is an opportunity, gilt-edged opportunity from Munster now in these kind of positions. They need to be more accurate and ruthless. Creative too, as it goes through the hands from Blendall to Scannell.
Lost now! You came off your feet and then you played it afterwards, not in the same movement. Number 5.
The penalty goes against
Originally
Federico
legal,
Russa.
but
They need to be
afterwards,
careful here.
Not in the same movement.
Going back here to the carry, and you see the poach, same movement. That's what Nigel Owens is saying, that he's got to win that ball fairly. If he'd taken that from the ground, he probably would have been okay.
Softening, boys.
Incredible play by Peter O'Mahony to actually to not only rob the line out, but deliver it off the top as well. Watch here, I think we're used to Pete stealing the line out, but actually delivering it for Conor Murray. That's as good as attack.
But isn't it very helpful that Klein, the second row, is right behind him to give him that vertical lift, but the height of Klein gives a real chance, isn't it? A little like having your old buddy John Hayes behind you.
Blendall has struck that very well. Well, they waited 23 minutes to get the first score of the opening half, and the first score of the second half from the same route. The boot of Tyler Blendall arrives after 3 minutes of the second. 10 points to 6. .443 points now for Tyler Blendall, a player who missed the better part of 2 seasons in his 3 years since coming from the Canterbury Crusaders.
Stay.
And here he is to put one in behind Montiawani.
That's brilliant, brilliant play. It looks so simple, looks so basic, but it's a great catch. Like Munster had 4 pods up the front if it went short, but it went back to Conor Murray. There's a wall of red jerseys, just blocked any potential contest for that ball. Simple, take the ball down. See the wall of red jerseys there? Out to Blindell, and a gentle little use the wind and puts the ball right back into Benetton's half. Really good exit from Munster.
And taken up the front this time by Lazzaroni.
Lost now, Red.
Slow coming back to Tito Tibaldi, who's in as a blood sub for Dufanaka.
Okay, ripped before.
That's loose. It's Klute again who's turned that over for Munster, and the ball is there for CJ Stander. If they were sleepwalking their way through the opening 40 minutes, all the signs in the 5 minutes after the restart are that Munster are more engaged
Stay
now.
Red.
Scannell.
Okay, wingers on.
It was always going to be on which way the bunch went. Didn't go in his
I got
favour.
the mark in line with me. Just past the halfway line into Munster half.
Okay, when you get a turnover as brilliant as this one is, this is fantastic choke tackle from the Munster players. The ball spills forward. What do you do with a turnover? CJ Stander comes into the break. There was ample opportunity wide. He needs to put a couple of passes on that ball and not go in. Look where the Benetton defenders are. They're all where he ran into. Where they weren't was a couple of passes out wide, and suddenly Munster have an opportunity to really inflict damage on that brilliant turnover.
CJ seems angry today. I think he just wants to get on the ball and run over guys, and he's done a good job of it at the start, but like we said earlier on, I suppose there are the moments you need a bit of direction as a forward and to be told to get nowhere near it.
Crouch. Bind. Set. The bind up.
And it goes from Tibaldi. He's going to have to use it here. It's gone through his legs, having popped out the back. Morisi. Double teamed by the Munster midfield and Scannell principally. Tibaldi once again. Luca Bigi tackled by Archer. Kilcoyne in there too. Tibaldi with a little chip over the top. A tricky one for Conway.
That's the third time Benetton have exercised the exact kick.
What will be the option here from Tommaso Allen? Sending Haley back there.
Stay red, stay. Don't chase it, listen, touch.
And the finds touch. Montiawani will go quickly to his fullback. Oh, he spotted a little gap. Oh, Bigi gets it away. Montiawani against Conway. They're through here. Oh, on the hands from Bromstein, and he couldn't hold it.
I got nearly knocked off my chair here with Donegal Callan.
Oh, just hold the ball.
Left hand bend nearly knocked me over.
Oh, just shows the threats, offloading and contact, and just the pace, just to get away in the footwork. Incredible.
Substitutions.
Just need to hold that pass. I know it's not perfect, but they're the type of ones you get in those moments, and you just have to be good enough to finish.
Number 21
that is
off.
a massive opportunity lost.
Nice, Mark's a bit back on me. Keep going back.
A couple of switches coming in the front row for Benetton meanwhile, but if Bromstein holds that, then they get in for 5 or 7 points. Wow.
Yeah, knocked on you with Trevisa 7.
That's Devolt Duvanaka coming back in as well, so Tito Tibaldi can go back off.
Number 10 and number 5.
Tommy Faiva and Derek Apia coming in.
5 and 10.
I played with Derek Apia in Worcester. Looks like he's enjoying the Italian food since he's left. He has got strong looking.
Change at number 10 now. Tyler Blendall is going off, which means JJ Hanrahan will be coming in.
This is going to be very interesting, because if one thing we've seen when JJ Hanrahan comes on, he stamps his authority on the fixture. We know the style he plays, of course we do. We know the style Blind does, but one of the things that Hanrahan has done, and he's done brilliantly anytime he's come off the bench, is he's just grabbed the fixture. Whether it's hitting the game line very, very flat, staying back in the pocket, but he's controlling all the assets around him.
What I've been impressed with Munster in the opening few minutes of this half is the territory and the management of the game. Just being really smart and efficient and getting out of their 22, kicking an awful lot smarter.
No quick line out on this occasion. Ball into the stands. Billy Holland, by the way, as well, in for Tag Byrne. We saw that constant alive threat that Benetton bring, though. Tibaldi off the floor, the quick hands from Luca Bigi, and then the support lines. Everything was right there except the finish from Bromstein. Taken by Lazzaroni. Here's Tommaso Allen into midfield. They go to Luca Morisi.
Okay, lost.
He's been very effective this afternoon defensively, Rory Scannell.
But look where the hits are happening, right behind the gain line. Good quick pace from Munster coming off their line.
Apia involved.
Leoni is on.
And back it goes for Conor Murray. That's a little bit loose. Lack of communication back there. Tricky ball to deal with, albeit. Stander. Again, he can't make too many yards. No way through. Scannell on the carry this time.
Okay, Hughes.
Murray looking for some added protection before he hoists up that box kick. Distance is good. It invites the aerial challenge from Sweetenham, but Benetton deal with it again. The try scorer, Tavayara. Oh, he's away, Tavayara, that's exceptional. He's got so much pace and dexterity, and he gets the offload away again. The hands just letting Benetton down, but Retuva Tavayara, he is too hot to handle this afternoon.
Frontage over, knock on green.
They're really targeting through their kicking game and through attacking the fringes where Conor Murray is. He's playing a defensive role in the line. There's no one behind the breakdown, so it forces fatiguing forwards now. They are fatiguing. They put in a big shift up at this point. They need a sweeper there to cover the type of play. When you have a winger of his capability, you need to just protect your fringes.
I don't know, that's CJ Sandler and Rory Scannell who he just brushes off. It's incredible play. This guy is just magic to watch. Every time he gets on the ball, you know he's going to do something incredible, and to just swat CJ off like that and get him out of his way. Just could do with his teammates holding the ball when he gets it to them.
Number 3,
Well, they could be. There could be serious daylight between these two teams were it not for a bit of loose handling. Marco Lazzaroni and Sebastian Negri going off, and Ernie Herbst and Dean Budd, two decent options to bring in. John Ryan, meantime, is into the Munster front row for Stephen Archer. He looks pretty relaxed, and why wouldn't he? His side in front, 50 minutes on the watch at Thomond Park, where no team has ever come and won a playoff game in this competition.
Crouch!
Edinburgh run them close this time last year, you may recall, but ultimately lost in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Will the same fate await Benetton? Will they rue those missed opportunities when the ball didn't go to hand? Munster penalty at scrum time now.
Behind the number 8 please. Down on this side, and lost your bind that side and down. Just done.
You can see the Benetton second row now playing in the blind side. There for me, there was enough of a blind side there. I know Munster were going to test the Benetton scrum. There's enough of a blind side there with a second row protecting it, and the left winger for Benetton was miles away. There are little opportunities that present themselves every now and then, and if you get the wrong person defending that, you have a chance.
Again, it's O'Mahony, and again, it's good ball off the top. Murray to Scannell. Battering ram up that 10-12 channel. No joy out of the Benetton defence, but now it's a great line from Farrell. Great delivery too from JJ Hanrahan. That's better from Munster. Now can they go again? There's a hit in there on, I think it's John Klein has gone to ground.
Yeah,
looked like a nasty knock.
Staying the Benetton open side, smashed him.
Kilcoyne with the carry up to the threshold of that 22. Still the advantage is there. That's good from Healy. Quick feet and good awareness of what was around him. Murray now to Holland. Hanrahan, that's better. Farrell out the back door, that was good hands. Hanrahan again, and he's carrying the ball to the line. He's taking the fight to the Italians since his introduction.
Okay, we're going nowhere.
All the way back for what happened over on that far side.
Yeah, your fault. Not cynical, just a mistiming.
We were talking in the first half how to use this quality ball. This is a superb line off the top. Initially hits Scannell in midfield, but watch Farrell as the whole thing opens up. The opportunity here, look at all the Benetton players honeypotting in the breakdown. Ultimately it's Chris Farrell who gets the ball. Boom, the first time in the game he gets an opportunity to carry, hit a weak shoulder and get an advantage. That's what you want to see more of with a player of his quality, his physique.
And you want to see the linking between forwards and back. You see Peter O'Mahony giving the pass there, and also Billy Holland to the back that is presenting himself behind those forwards. Then Benetton have to respect that then. They can no longer just shoot out of the line and hit the forwards. It's backs working with the forwards and in conjunction with them to ask questions of the defence.
It's Munster asking those questions now.
You must stay there.
Oh, it's stolen at line-out time. And we spoke about the fact that these two line-outs are evenly matched. They're two of the three best in the league, and that's that man, Federico Ruccia. That's his 9th line-out steal of the season, his 2nd of the afternoon.
8 red, side entry.
Changed his bind.
8 red, change your bind.
Coincidental that each half a number 8 for the opposing sides find themselves swimming on that side, but in this case Standard doesn't get away with. This is a quality steal.
Especially against Peter O'Mahony, you know, someone that normally lords that area. Just looking out here for CJ Sanders' penalty. changing his bind he was done for. I don't know, it seems quite similar to the one we saw in the first half that Benetton were rewarded for.
Well, those Benetton fans that have made the trip, they'll enjoy their May bank holiday weekend if their side can upset the odds here. I said it at the top of the programme, it will go down as arguably the biggest upset in the history of this competition. Such are the expectations on Munster, such is that weight to put themselves back in a position to add silverware for the first time since 2011, and still they trail. Lazzaroni again, he's been excellent. Dufanaga back in harness and none the worse for wear following that knock to the face. Healy. Back in field it goes to Hanrahan, now Kilcoyne. And Munster wouldn't give for one of those line breaks from Kilcoyne. Skyward on the chase is Farrell. Hayward is usually solid under the high ball, and he certainly was on that occasion, despite intense pressure from the big Munster outside centre. 5. Duvanaga waits, the protection is there, and the scrum half gets his box kick away, just holding up in this breeze now. Taken by Monty Iwani though. It's that man, Hame 5 again. Slower ball coming back to
too slow, lying on the ball.
Duvanaga, too slow. Penalty advantage here, and they can be so dangerous in these kind of situations if they can find a little bit of daylight.
But that's the game that we were expecting to see Benetton bring, the ability of the ball carrier just to get that, squeeze that extra yard by targeting a weak shoulder. He did brilliantly, didn't he, Feva, on that occasion? He pinballed himself up with 3 big hits and still kept going forward and gets the penalty. That's a super penalty to earn.
Sloppy though, CJ Sander won't be happy with it. It's one of those controllable ones, Nigel telling him to get out of the way and to make an effort, and you know, he might have been hardly done with the one at the Mall, but to compound it with a silly one like that is disappointing.
We'll see it here
just
from
make the effort a second
Stanley.
earlier.
There's the hit from
Klute. Just lay that on the ball. Way quicker.
Little doubt about it.
But it burns the clock a bit. It gives Benetton an opportunity just to take a breather.
Initially Munster stayed down, it was a little bit loose, and now they get it away to Luca Morisi.
No, nobody there, play on.
Taken at pace and taken well on that occasion by Herbst, the 6'7" lock forward. Iwani, away they go to Tabayara. Typically audacious ball carrying one hand.
No tackle.
Pinched again by Klute.
Everybody's on their feet, you compete, it's a maul. It's a maul.
Where's this going?
It was a maul form, scrum down, turnover ball.
Like, they're massive wins, aren't they, Donegal? Massive.
Such moments, Chris Clute does everything right, and I suppose that's what you want straight after making an error. You lose the ball, but what can we do to get the ball back and turn it into a maul, choke it up? And it's getting spiky out there now.
The turnover was perfectly legal, off the floor, maul formed, unplayable turnover ball.
Well, as you guys mentioned in the first half, were this a real broken field, heads-up, expansive game of rugby where Benetton were running away with it, you might say okay, but they have fought fire with fire, and in almost every facet of the game they're matching and surpassing their esteemed opponents.
Yeah, and we've seen it at scrum, and we've seen it at set piece, especially with kind of defensive lineouts as well, pinch and ball. It's probably the thing about Benetton. Everyone credits their back three, but their whole game is strong, and because their back three is so dangerous, it does get highlighted. But they've been the form team this Pro 14. They really have brought the excitement to it, and you heard that by the Thomond crowd when they came out.
Well, Nigel Owens is not impressed with Benetton cheering these turnovers and these little wins in the game, but I mean, it's the biggest game in their history.
Yeah, the old days we called them energizers, wouldn't we? Where you get a little win at the breakdown or in the line-up maul defence or indeed a scrum. I think it's no harm to cheer. I don't think they were doing it in Munster's face. They're doing it amongst themselves.
Get in 9.
Good team culture, I think.
Keep it up, stay 9. Stay close.
Look who's slipping into the first receiver slot.
Red is offside. Red 22 made the tackle, is offside.
Gets away from Hanrahan, but Hanrahan's offside. Penalty coming to Benetton here.
5 metres from the scrum.
Might be
But you can see what Ratuva Tabayara has achieved. Once he slips into that 10 slot, Hanrahan is immediately concerned. He says, wow, this guy has made fools out of other players today. I got to get up and sneak in and close them down. And then he errors slightly. That's 3 big penalties, Donica, that has brought Benetton from maybe inside their 22 all the way to a potential 3 points. 3 big penalties.
You're 100% right. It's been a line-up maul, CJ, done for coming up the side of it. And then another one down here on the 10-metre line for not rolling away. JJ on that one. And it just shows you can compound your own errors and cause real trouble for yourself if your discipline is off. And Munster need to take control themselves here now and tighten that up.
Two previous kicks were with the aid of the breeze. This is the first one into it, but it matters little for the irrepressible Tommaso Allen. He has been absolutely bang on from the kicking tee this afternoon. 3 out of 3, and Munster are in big trouble here.
There is a huge amount of time left, 20 full minutes in the game. I think JJ Hanrahan, that was an error on his part, but I think he's made a very positive impact since he's come on. He's very much standing in the first receiver slot and he's beginning to control the game itself. It's his teammates who brought it all the way back into his 22.
Halafihi.
It can be often in moments like this that you say, oh, we look to the leaders. The leaders are having outstanding games. The Rory Scannells, the Peter O'Mahonys, the Conor Murrays. It's guys like Mike Haley here on the ball. These guys need to step up now.
Haley steps his way through a little bit of heavy traffic, beat 1 or 2, and now it's quick ball for Hanrahan. Pops it back out again to John Ryan. Ryan is hit by Marco Zanin. Not sure there was a lot of arms in that challenge. Carried by Kilcoyne. Now it's Murray. Out they go to Farrell. Murray again. 20 minutes for Munster to salvage the game and salvage their season.
We've lost it now.
Again, the initial first up defence is good, taken on by Klein on this occasion.
Advantage.
There's an advantage for Munster here. Can they take advantage? Through the hole goes Farrell. Another good tackle, nothing doing.
No advantage coming, lads.
We're going back for the penalty.
Time out. Yeah, I'm listening in. Okay.
It's TMO Ian Davies.
Do you have any view where the contact was
talking
made?
to Nigel Owens.
Yeah, I don't believe contact is made, but just look to the actions of him. There, 19, yeah.
Okay. And just a penalty only, yes?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Okay.
So he needs to be very careful.
Nothing more than a penalty against Ernie Herbst on that occasion.
No. We can't come in with a swinging arm like that, because you're very, very lucky. If it had made contact with the head, you'd have been in big trouble, wouldn't you, okay? So you must make an attempt to tackle and knock in the swinging arm. Because there's no contact with the head, it's only a penalty on this occasion. But you cannot come in with a swinging arm like it. Yes, but he's still, when in the swinging arm, he did catch him up behind here, so there is an offence penalty only. Okay?
But did he not make contact with his chest first and try a wrap round, which looked very, very helicopterish? Yes? But at the same time, it wasn't as if he led with his left arm.
No, not at all. It's one of those clumsy ones where you just can't move your body. I know it too well. He just isn't looking to swing his arm, he's looking to wrap his tackle. But yeah, John Ryan's probably footwork and juggling for the ball is able to get him away from it. Just looks awkward more so than anything. I think the right decision penalty, perfect.
Mark is here, boys, okay?
A shot of goal, not surprisingly, is the option for Munster as they look to get this back to a 4-point game. You wonder what the Munster management will have been
Time is on then.
Saying at half-time, and what they'll think now with fewer than 20 minutes to go in the game.
Good, Ian, thank you.
Well, it's all about winning the fixture, Conor, in many ways, and I still feel with this amount of time, I know the scoreboard is slightly against them, that Munster have well within their ability in the wind and everything else to win this fixture.
Well, this man made his 100th appearance in Munster colours in the fixture away against Benetton a few weeks ago in Treviso. He was man of the match and he kicked 7 out of 7 off the kicking tee. And he struck that perfectly. So it's back to a 4-point game and plenty of rugby to come over the last 18 minutes or so here. Still anyone's game. Who will be going to the RDS in a couple of weeks' time? Will it be Munster? Will it be Benetton? Marco Rizioni has been called ashore for Benetton.
Benetton substitution number 18, Susanna Pasquale, replaces number 3, Marco Rizioni.
Chris Clute has gone off for Munster. Arno Bota, decent option at this stage of the game to bring in, and he's under this restart. Can he make an immediate impact?
The last person on the field you want to give the ball to with the clean 20-metre run.
Scannell.
Flush! Okay, use him, please. Use.
And up it goes from Conor Murray. No, it's a great take. Over the shoulder. We'll have seen that late. 5 and now. Dufanaka. Bota with his first tackle of the afternoon. The ball is off the deck and
the tackler has gone and he's on his feet over the ball. The tackler is out.
CJ Stander wins one for Munster.
You must move as well, Seven, okay? Once you hit the deck, don't lie over the ball.
Whatever about the poach, I just love the manners to Nigel Owens afterwards. Thank you. Small thing, but fair play to him.
And Hanrahan fires one down towards the Benetton 22. Crucial moments in the game, and Munster set piece is working here. It's another opportunity. They've yet to take one with ball in hand, but you feel if they get one at this stage of the game, crucially 15 minutes or thereabouts to go, well, it could just turn the tide. One by Holland in there for Niall Scannell. Murray waits, poised. Rory Scannell. Hanrahan. Conway in off his wing and looking for work. Marco Zanon is dealt with. Here's Bota, and he got his pass away. Stander. Opportunity now for Munster, surely right in front of the post in the shape of the South African Jean Klein. There's another penalty, shot to nothing here potentially. Conor Murray kicking one over the top. Back we go.
Number 8. No, but you're on the wrong side and 9 is coming to play that ball and you're slowing it all down. You fall there, you take the consequences.
It's against Toa Halafihi. They do have to be careful in those red zone situations. Munster looking for that try.
The difference.
If 9 changes his angle, it's not a problem. He's coming in naturally for the ball, you move.
The difference Bota has made to the players around him. He's giving that form. You just don't want to give that guy the ball because he's got the guns of Navarone in his arms and he just can bounce anyone off him. But straight away, once he gets that half yard, he gives it to Stander. All of a sudden, Stander's now going forward and it's a much easier play for him as well. Big impact from the Munster bench.
It's exactly what you want as well. The guys coming in, making a massive impact when they come on, especially with how the scoreboard looks at the moment. You need guys there that, you know, that you can turn to and you know they're going to change the momentum of the game.
Well, we've got 14 minutes or thereabouts to go, and this quarter-final is in the balance. It's a 1-point game. It's 2 out of 2 from JJ Hanrahan, and we are heading towards the championship minutes. Semi-final place is up for grabs, and still it's anyone's, but the momentum you feel, although they still trail, is with Munster. Albie Matheson coming in at scrum half for Conor Murray.
Well, what we know is Conor Murray is a world-class scrum half, but this guy who's come on is going to give so much speed and energy to fit in between. Now we've got a number 8, if you like, between Botha and Stander. We've got a 9 and 10, all of whom I believe will stamp their authority on the remainder of this fixture.
Change in the midfield too for Benetton as Zanon goes off and Zarbi comes in. Good take from Darren Sweet in the meantime from the restart. Here is Matheson. And here is that man Botha. And this time he's forced back, but it took 2 or 3 Benetton players to put him into reverse. Matheson into touch over on that far side.
36.
It seems that field territory has been in the control of JJ Hanrahan, and field possession has also been in. So this is a rare opportunity for Benetton. They're looking a little bit tired in the last 3 or 4 minutes. They're not quite as clinical at the breakdown. They're beginning to eke penalties themselves. This is an important part of their season here. This next minute or so, forget about the fixture. Just get through the next minute, control field position. If possible, get your 3 points or even better.
It's Herbst who takes it. And they're making decent progress here, Benetton. They've worked out very, very well. There's good continuity and communication there, and Munster have to reorganise time and again. And they're up inside that 22. This is absolutely exceptional stuff from the pack of forwards. And now from Duvanaga, they try to put some width on it. Through the hands they go, and at the second or third attempt they've managed to recycle it from Hayward, and through they go with Morisi. Munster scrambling back in numbers both sides. Tavayara takes 2 to bring him down. 2 big men too, in Farrell and Klein. On they go with Bram Stain. Duvanaga, do they have numbers on the right hand side? Munster get a cross in the shape of Arno Botha. Yeah, they just slow it down ever so slightly in the ball with Montiawani. Duvanaga sniping around the fringes. All hands to the pump here for Munster. Duvanaga again, good quick service and good options too. 5 on that far side, and he gets through the challenge, and they're up to 2 metres. These are big moments for Benetton and indeed for Munster. What a score would do for the Italians here. Ball is there for Duvanaga, and they're double teaming Bramstein, helped out by Pasquale. Duvanaga again, they go very deep, and up come Munster with Farrell, but they've transferred the ball, that offloading style we've seen so much of, and there's no space this time. But wow, they're asking the question.
Nigel, substitution, red number
Just
12.
ran out of pitch this time, Tavayari. You can see his disgust. He knew potentially they were in again.
Sorry, 12.
It's the fact that he actually backs himself that so close to the touchline to even go outside. It just shows the confidence of him, his ability. Benetton are just incredible to watch. They're, they're the light of the Pro14 this season. I know this is everyone will kind of look and say, "Oh, Munster are underperforming," but they've been put to the sword here. Benetton have, lit a light in Italian rugby.
Good take from Klein, and it had to be under pressure in that kind of field position. There's no margin for error. A 1-point game with 10 minutes to go.
What I like watching about them, Donica, is you can pick out their star performers. Both wingers are key, aren't they, in terms of going forward? But their style and the strategy they play is those guys get buckets of opportunity. And that's what I like watching about them. They say, listen, you're our best players. We need to create an environment that you guys get opportunity, and that's what they do every single week.
And all on top of good foundation blocks, good set piece. We saw a 20-metre maul there the last time. They're looking to do the exact same here again.
They've done the initial part pretty well. Was that taken down? There's a Benetton player on the floor. And it's there, 5. Can they find a way through with Alberto Sarbi? Duvanaga waits, and it's Monty Awani. Sarbi again. Duvanaga. Federico Russa. Bramstein, no way through. Duvanaga under pressure from Arno Bota.
No.
The ball is there. Awani. I've seen more and more of him in the second half. Haven't seen him really, with ball in hand, have that kind of opportunity from which he excels. From where he's got 6 tries this season. Duvanaga, this is great stuff from Benetton.
And they've huge numbers right.
2 metres shy of the line, and options to the right-hand side. They need to be clinical here and use the advantage. 3 over there, surely now. Tavayara, they went all the way straight to the Fijian finisher. And he was well sized up by the Munster rearguard. Can they go again? Halafihi waits on the drive. CJ Stander's got his hands on that. Now it's hands away, he's off his feet. Nigel Owens was well placed. These are huge moments. There's a penalty coming here potentially if John Ryan doesn't listen to Nigel Owens. He told them initially to go back, but Munster have turned it over.
That's a good counter-ruck.
But did he not pick the ball up in that? Is that still in the ruck?
Stay.
I'd like to see it again, Donnchadh.
No, that's a big moment.
That's a massive call.
I think Nigel Owens nearly coached them through it. He'd said to them first, that you're not allowed to play it, but he actually, John Ryan counter-rucks first, so makes the ball available and then gets...
But if you counter-ruck a ruck, it's still in the ruck, so you can't actually pick the ball up. So if that's the ruck, he can't pick that ball up.
Timeout.
That is a big call from Nigel Owens at this stage of the game in that position with Benetton on the offensive. And that's the referee's view. He couldn't have a better view. Wow.
Well, there's a slight lull in play. I think this is our last visit to Thomond Park, Conor. Just a quick word on the staff at Thomond Park. We were here last night with the Munster the North Munster under-18 final between Old Crescent under-18s and Ennis. And just a huge compliment to the security and staff and the coordinating team that looked after us. A lot of these kids will never play in Thomond Park again. A great match, and a word to Michael O'Hanlon, who's currently lying in the regional hospital. He smashed his leg last night. A brilliant scrum half who's got a Munster trial on Monday, but unfortunately he's going to miss out on that. But a huge thank you to the team here in Thomond Park.
And I think that's what you always get with Munster supporters. Again, 11,000 out today with an awful lot going on around Limerick with Riverfest and the Great Limerick Run. 20,000 here last weekend. People will say they're poor numbers, but week in, week out, they get behind the team.
Yeah, a lot of people away on holidays, and in 8 minutes time Munster could be on their holidays if they're let go, that is. They will not enjoy them on the back of a defeat to Benetton. Is their season to end prematurely and abruptly? Well, they've won another penalty here.
Number 5 came round side entry. 8 was going to be on the ball otherwise.
Like, they're 2 huge moments. The counter-ruck and steal and that penalty. Like, there's so much of the season right, and this is such an important fixture for both sides. Nobody wants to come away from this losing. We expect the home team to dominate overall, but Benetton have brought huge amount of real quality Italian style to the fixture. These moments are going to settle this fixture.
No, that didn't look straight at all.
Not straight.
And just going back to the previous one with Tavayara, with numbers to the right-hand side, just that little bit of white line fever. It's get it to the target man, but too quickly through the hands.
They put it through the hands. I 100% agree with you. You need to fix the inside defenders. Munster just slid out and triple teamed them ultimately.
It's like when you're playing underage rugby and you have your best player and it's get the ball to him as quickly as possible. Never a bad call.
Scrum. You want to scrum or line? Scrum, okay then. Time is out, doing his laces.
And all the while, your subconscious is screaming, Munster, with their pedigree and home advantage, will find a way to win this, but it is far from done. Benetton still lead and everything stacked against them. First Italian side through to the playoffs. No playoff team has come here and won a game like this at Thomond Park. The Ospreys, Leinster, Edinburgh, they've all been here in field.
Strike the ball, crouch.
11 times in a row, Munster have beaten Benetton in all competitions. 21 matches unbeaten at home over the last 16 months, and they trail the Italian visitors. What an incredible story potentially is unfolding here. They're already history makers, and they're not done yet.
Didn't touch it.
Duvenaga got them moving quickly.
Again, they're getting into their rhythm of beating defenders and getting across the gain line.
And they offload that to Luca Marisi. Duvenaga, who's been great again today.
Flat.
Back in field they go to Monty Ioane. No way through from CJ Stander, and he's turned that over. CJ Stander.
He cleanly released and on the ball.
Kicking the ball away. I believe it was 9, but it was 2 players there.
Leave the ball.
It's Duvenaga who's kicked the ball away meantime, so they've moved that on.
So long, Tuvayara, the right wing for Benetton, was the star performer, but CJ Stander is bullying his way back into that position. These are massive turnovers he's forcing himself.
And that's the quality of him. He'll be disappointed with those 2 penalties, but he puts it right on the pitch. He doesn't sulk or go into himself. He finds a way, and that's why his quality. This is a massive kick for JJ. Just range. I know he's 2 from 2, but
The mark is exactly on the halfway line. The mark is exactly on the
it's going to go back a yard or 2. Nigel Owen's been advised in his ear.
It's on the halfway line.
Small margins decide big games, and it could be a metre or 2. This is right at the outside of his compass for JJ Hanrahan.
Well, it just affects his kicking routine a little bit as well.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, you know. I think that's unfair. Like 100% get in early for the TMO there. He'd set up.
That also affects his kicking routine, going in to put a hand on his back.
And what about Benetton? If they were to lose a playoff quarter-final at Thomond Park because the number 9 kicked the ball away following a decision. Hanrahan from halfway, he's given that a mighty thump, and it's over. JJ Hanrahan, what a penalty, what composure, and what a finish we had to this game now. Half Munster, in typical Munster fashion, find a way to win the game. They are the knockout rugby specialists, and they are not done yet.
Yeah, we shouldn't have doubted JJ, the Kerryman there. He could have knocked it over from anywhere. What a brilliant kick, especially in such a big moment, and the crowd going going crazy after it. It just shows what it means, and you know, Munster still have a lot to do to finish this out.
And straight away Antonio Rizzi is in, so a change at fly half, and Duvenaga is off as well. He had such a good game, but his ultimate contribution, the legacy of that petulant kick away of the ball to try and buy his team some time, it cost them metres and it's cost them points, and ultimately it could have cost them the game, or at least it's a factor. Think back to the game at the RDS when Benetton looked like a beaten ticket and they found a try in the 81st minute. Now it's a time for their big players to stand up. They need to put themselves into a position here. Can they manufacture anything? A drop goal potentially. Tommaso Allen's been called off. This man, Antonio Rizzi, is in. Needs to get himself up to speed pretty quickly. There's only 2 or 3 minutes remaining. Is it going to be one of those moral victories where it's Benetton whose season is over and Munster go on to play Leinster at the RDS in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah.
It's all in the balance here. 2 minutes remain on the watch, and it's with Luca Morisi. Time for cool heads. A little bit of composure. They need to put themselves into a position to find a score. Full volume from the 10,000 Munster fans around Thomond Park.
Stay back. Hughes.
Their side have been behind for the lion's share of this game. Now they're back in front through the boot of JJ Hanrahan. Can they see it out?
No, don't touch.
And they're setting up for a drop goal here.
Antonio Rizzi is in the pocket. He's calling for it. He's just outside the 22. It's going to be potentially a drop goal for one of the biggest upsets in this competition's history. He's perfectly poised now. They've got the angle. They're calling for the covers. They want one more carry potentially for the forwards. It's all the way back. Antonio Rizzi. No, he's not got it. And Benetton are going to come up a little bit short. The charge was on from 2 or 3 Munster players, but he was never really quite set.
Down the 10.
Arno Bota coming up like a steam train in his peripheral vision, but he had the time, and he's really just cut across that. He didn't get a connection.
No, he didn't. He'll be disappointed with that, especially games on the line, but that's what pressure does.
10 seconds remaining. Munster 15, Benetton 13. What a finish to the game. Owani, Stain. Any mistake here and it's game over. It looks as though the boot of JJ Hanrahan has guided Munster to a semi-final against their arch rivals Leinster in 2 weeks' time. It looks as though it'll be a repeat of last season, but you never know with Benetton on the attack again. Morisi. Farrell's over it. Ball is loose, but it's taken away by Tibaldi. It's shipped on. Apaya. Tibaldi again. Rizzi. Owani. Bota's in there. No, he's lost it, and it's there for Tibaldi again.
Go back. No, play on.
It's that never say die attitude that we've seen all season from Benetton. And we are in the red. The clock is over 80 minutes and they trail by 2 points. They need a penalty or another opportunity at a drop goal. They've given themselves a reasonable opportunity beyond the 10 metres here. They need to keep going. They need to be so accurate in their carries and their latch-ons. They cannot afford to make a mistake. Can they find a way through? Rizzi almost did. Oh, that's a little bit loose. Great hands from Alafihi. How did he hold on to that? Oh, Munster are in there. That was almost a turnover. The game was almost up.
Move!
90 seconds beyond the 80 here, and the phase count
move 8
ever higher.
Stay there.
Is there to be a fairy tale finish to the game for Benetton? They've already had that one opportunity. They passed it up. Halafihi stationary. Fatigue setting in and a lack of ideas.
And they're looking to get into that drop goal pattern again, just zigzag here until someone fancies having a pop.
Oh, it was O'Mahony over and it was Kevin O'Byrne as well, and I feel they just need another 10 metres or so and then to put the replacement fly-off back into the pocket.
Okay, Hughes, please.
This is absolute quality play from both sides.
Oh, from a long, long way out they go, all the way back to Hayward, and that will be that. It is not to be Benetton's day. All eyes on Nigel Owens, and the final whistle goes. And Munster live to fight another day. They will go to the RDS to Leinster in 2 weeks' time for the second season in a row. But my goodness me, they have been put to the pin of their collar this afternoon from this gallant Benetton side. They found a way to win in the second half. They turned around 7 points in arrears. And a penalty from Tyler Blendall, and then 3 from the boot of JJ Hanrahan sees Munster over the winning line. There will be an inquest as to why it was made so difficult, but let's credit that man in your picture, JJ Hanrahan. A halfway line penalty wins the quarter-final for Munster. Okay, let's quickly get the lads man of the match.
Well, as you say, Conor, Munster lived to fight another day, but they were pushed so long by a Benetton team playing beautiful style of rugby. Stars throughout, but on the right wing, Tavuyara. Benetton have a world-class player who can make something out of nothing. A wonderful performance by him. Disappointing finish for him, but what a credit for his team and Italian rugby in many ways to watch him and the style he plays. And he is our Guinness man of the match.
Okay, so Thomond Park in Limerick. It finishes after a pulsating finish to the game. Munster 15, Benetton 13.